What is going on, guys? It is Lely2SX here, and this is episode 2 of my Champions League journey. The first match is against PSG at home, the second match is against Barcelona away. So straight away you can see me make an attempt to slow down PSG's game by letting the grass grow a bit longer and keeping the pitch dry. Now I'm not sure if that's the way PSG play at a slower tempo anyway, but it definitely felt like they were being held back a bit because I'm sure they have the players to play a bit quicker, so it made the match a bit more bearable for me to play and keep up with them. And surprisingly, I actually got the first chance of the match. It took a while to get into it, but I got the first chance and Sirigu made a good save. And in the first half, the game was, they pretty much had the control of the ball, but I think I had control of the match the way, you know, the chances were created and, you know, the pace of the game. I think even though I didn't have the ball, I controlled pretty much most of the first half. And you can see them at the end of the first half, when my players were playing at the highest tempo, they were getting worn down and they were starting to turn the screw and turn up the pressure. The second half was all PSG. There's not much I could do. My players were given so much energy in the first half and early on in the second half that I was really playing at their tempo and almost scrapping for defence. As you just saw Ibrahimovic go for a typical Ibrahimovic pile driver. That's the one thing I love about this game, the way players play so much like themselves. And when this pass came through, it's such a lovely weighted pass. I put a good ball into the box. When I saw Manduka, whatever his name is, go run onto that cross, I thought that was a certain goal, but it's pretty much straight down the throat of Sirigu, who held onto it comfortably and made it look like a very easy save. So you can see I tried to freshen things up front, so it gave me an outlet so my defence weren't getting pummeled on all the time, but it didn't really work because I just couldn't get hold of the ball and not give them anything to feed off. So at the end of the match, I was just hanging on for dear life here. I was doing well not to give any gifts away, so I wasn't giving any easy goals. I was restricting them to shooting pretty much on uncomfortable positions with defenders in the way or off balance, which is, you know, fair enough. I was upper well, I couldn't really do much, so it ended 0-0. I got the point, and in the other match between Barcelona and Ajax, that actually ended in 2-2 draw. I can't show it because for some weird reason the video got messed up there, so it won't let me render that part. So now we're going to the second match of this episode, and Barcelona, my god, was they so frustrating to play against at the Camp Nou. They obviously watered the pitch and kept the grass short, and they were moving it about so quickly, but they were moving it about here so much, so what I was doing was I wasn't giving them any chances or spaces to exploit, and my only real means of attack was trying to pinch the ball up high up the field and take really, I won't say, well, yeah, I was about to say pot shots, but they're decent efforts on goals, because if I go into the box, they got PK and Matteo, who are physically a bit too strong for my striker, and they were well organised at the back, and Barcelona were just so patient. It was, I almost fell asleep. I won't say fell asleep, but they were trying to bore me to making a mistake, and it nearly happened once or twice, but I was doing well. I was holding shape for such a long time. Trust me, trying to keep shape for 10-15 minutes in an actual computer game is so hard. And look, you can see what happens every time I tried putting the ball into the box from across. Like I said, physically Matteo and PK were just a bit too much for my strikers, and I didn't really have much to, you know, work with. Like I said, I only had 24% of the ball, but I worked out 2 chances, and, you know, they had so much of the ball, but they weren't really threatening too much. The one thing I love about that there is, you've seen how the goalkeeper parried it out and my player tried to follow it up. When the two bodies of the, you know, guy who went for the header and the defender clashed, it obviously knocked them off balance and the ball went straight through them. I like that. That looks a bit realistic. So as you can see, I was really testing my look from range, trying to, you know, just get a deflection or anything, just strike a wonder goal. But it looked like it wasn't happening, and I was growing in confidence because I was getting a few chances. So you can see I was freshening things up front, hoping that the pair of fresh legs might inspire something. But what happens when you gain a bit too much confidence against top teams and you open up the game? You know what's going to happen now, don't you? I got a bit too confident. I opened up the game a bit too much. Iniesta with some lovely feet gives the ball to Neymar, and that's exactly what happens when you open up against a big team. So I wasn't going to let that get me down. I was always going to carry on pushing for a goal, and, you know, I couldn't really burst into the box against these. Like, I just didn't have the quality players to do it. But we all know in football, if you're still in the game, no matter how good of a team you are, if you're still in the game at the end of the match, you always get a chance. Now, was this my chance? 86th minute, a free kick, and he blazes it over. Now, I thought that was my only chance, but Barcelona, being Barcelona, they have this trait in them. They always manage to cause problems for themselves in defence. I play a through ball to Sheridan. Sheridan rounds the goalkeeper. He gets the point that keeps me on top of the table. I was just staring down the barrel of defeat, and that draw there felt like a victory in the way it just happened. I would have settled for a point before, but the way I got that draw, it felt like a victory. That point there makes going through to the knockout stage a very realistic target right now. I'll be lucky to get through on second place, so I'm just happy if I do get through. So as you can see, a massive upset in the PSG vs Ajax game as Ajax go away and beat PSG 1-0. So who thought we'd see this after 3 games? Apoel on top, Ajax second, Barcelona third and PSG fourth. So the reason this episode wasn't done on a live com is because some silly twat accidentally flicked the mute button on his headset and didn't even realise till after I played these 2 matches. So the next match is an exciting match and it's on a live com as well. Trust me, you want to come back and watch that because that is the return match against Barcelona at Apoel's ground. If you want to see more Champions League playthroughs, check out the Midnight Kid right now. He's uploading like a house on fire. He's doing a Champions League campaign with Real Madrid. And you can check out the rest of the PES universe, which consists of the True Brits, PES Sepp and Mr. Marcus. So guys, if you did enjoy this episode, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, remember to subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys.